Close your eyes and think of a time when you were having a conversation. Maybe it was with a grandparent, a parent, or a teacher. These conversations and moments are unintentional and relaxed and just an exchange of ideas. Are you there? Can you pinpoint on one scene that you can recall? Great. Let me share my memory. I'm sitting in my grandmother's living room, and I'm around 10 years old, and she is telling me for the hundredth time how her and Grandpa met back in Europe, and how they built a life together here in the US. I remember these conversations. I remember asking her questions, and she would get a twinkle in her eye and smile as she would go on and on about the details of their story, their romance, and how I came about in some way or another from their story. These are very precious moments to me, and moments that I still treasure. How many of you nowadays are having moments that you can share like this? How many times are you having unstructured, relaxed conversations? I have two little boys, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I have to think very carefully about this question. Beyond driving them here and there, getting them ready for school, preparing meals and snacks, sometimes I feel like a robot. I have to stop and remind myself that laundry can wait, that putting toys away can wait. I have to remind myself the importance of interacting and having conversations with my little ones. I used to think parenting was going to be a bliss. After all, I'm an educator, a teacher, and I am trained in child development. I have a certificate in motherhood, or so I thought. After all, motherhood hit me hard, and not due to a lack of deficiency or support. On the contrary, I have loving family and friends and a way to support my family. So why is it being a parent so hard nowadays? Things that were natural to parenting are now fading away, like the simple act of conversation. We have lost touch. We have created a barrier between ourselves and our children, a barrier called a screen, a phone, a laptop, a text, a need to be connected 24/7, and in the process, disconnecting with the world around us. In this case, of a parent, our children. As the Deputy Director of Providence Talks, it is my business to study, research, and observe how the impact of conversation has on early development of our young children. We believe that words matter, that how many words and how our children are interacting with each other provides us a wealth of information on how they will perform academically and socially as they grow up. Yes, we count words. Research shows that by the time a child from a low-income family, they hear about 616 words per hour compared to a child from a working-class background who hears 1,251 words per hour. By the time the child living in a low-income family reaches their 4th birthday, they have heard 30 million less words than their peers. It means because of the challenging times and sometimes stressful situations that these parents face, they have less time to interact with their children. Most of these families have working parents, multiple shifts that they work, so their children are being entertained by digital nannies, electronics. These are not bad parents. These are parents doing the best they can in the situations they are in. They prioritize, as they should, putting food on the table and keeping their children safe always. The challenge here is that by the time this child enters school, They are already behind in their capacity to absorb, digest, and learn new information. Their cognitive stomach is not developed. According to Harvard research, in the first few years of life, 700 new neural connections form in a child's brain, and the brain reaches 80% of its adult size by the age of 3. The research also shows that this solution is not as hard as you may think. While it requires awareness and focus, the amount of conversations and intentional conversations our children are having can easily reverse this problem. That is why we count words. We have even built a wearable digital device. This device is called the Digital Language Processor. It's a talking pedometer designed by the Lena Research Foundation. At Providence Talks, we have been able to successfully bridge the word gap by helping parents to learn how to measure and incorporate strategies into their existing daily interactions. To monitor progress towards this benchmark and their personal goals, we have given each participant a small wearable device, and this device counts the amount of words the child hears and the amount of conversation between parent and child back and forth exchanges. 69% of our families make progress in this program, as measured by either an increase in the amount of words the child hears or the back and forth exchange between the parent and child. We are building on the power and strengths of our parents. We incorporate strategies into their daily lives. The goal is to increase the engagement between the parent and child. Through the use of curriculum, trained Providence Talks coaches help families to understand how to incorporate strategies to increase both the quantity and quality of their talk. These strategies are then incorporated into already existing daily activities, such as mealtime, food shopping, and bedtime. The Providence Talks intervention is targeted to influence parent-caregiver behavior, creating long-term existing benefits for children who then grow up in healthy language environments. Literacy affects us all as a society. Our children are our future, and it is our job to help them embrace that future and live their full potential. It is not someone else's problem. It's us as a community. Since the launch of Providence Talks, we have counted a lot of words. In the past 3 years, we have worked with families in Providence, Rhode Island, and the results coming out of our program are giving us the momentum to keep on going. We have worked with over 2,300 families, which is roughly 20% of the city of Providence. 53% of these children hear 50 more words than when they first started the program. The data only shows half of the story. Yes, we have 69% success, but we have 31% more to work on. And yes, we have touched 20% of the city's population in Providence of families that have children under the age of 3. But the most relevant data here, for me, is the stories that the parents tell over and over again. This is one of my little boys when he was a baby. He and I babbled away all the time. I invite you that next time you are with a young child, your niece, your nephew, or your own child, ask them a question and engage them in conversation. Even if they're too young to respond, look at their face, look at their expressions, and respond to their babble. Yes, they cannot speak, but they are interacting with you. Take the time to witness this miracle. Thank you.